Looks like there's microphones, so raise your hand if you got a question. Up front.
Fran, your press had some success late, but early on, Braden Smith was able to break it. And what kind of makes him so valuable at Purdue, and just the way that he's able to handle the ball and then obviously score in the way that he did tonight?
Well, he's terrific, but everybody else is. It's not just him. Everybody on the team is really good, and everybody they bring in is really good. That's why they're ranked number one.
Coach, the team did a good job keeping Edie off of the scorer's mark in the first half, but it left way for open shooters on the perimeter. What do you see in terms of how you are able to limit him scoring, but break down?
Yeah, our anticipation and rotations were not good enough, clearly. And it's hard, because they got a lot of them. And they're a team that is very unselfish. They move it, they share it. There's no selfishness at all with this team. So you got a lot of ground to cover when you're doubling. Because now you got 3 guarding 4. And there's always somebody at the front of the rim, so you got to guard that person, whoever that is. Usually First or Gillis, or somebody else.
Fran over here. When you started your offense, I thought you started your offense deeper sometimes than what you had in the last 2 or 3 games, and you ran the shot clock down a little bit before you took some shots. Were you looking for something in particular there?
Well, it really depends. For the most part, we run in motion, but then we run some sets. So if you're running sets, of course, you're looking for something that will expire into motion, but you might get something quick. I didn't think in the first half we moved well enough in our motion game. And part of that is they're a good defensive team, they're physical, they're up. But I don't think we were executing the way we need to in this environment. And then we ended up settling for jumpers. And it's a hard team to drive on, let's face it, right? They're a really hard team to drive on. But you still have to penetrate space and create some opportunities. And, it's hard. We shot 1 for 10 from 3 in the first half. It makes it hard.
Front left.
There were, I think, 3 free throws between both teams in the first half, 16 in the second half. Do you feel that was more about pace in the second half, or it was called a little different?
You know what? That's a really good question. I'm not sure. I'd probably have to watch the tape. But you're right in your assessment that the pace was different. So that probably leaned towards that as my answer.
Kenny.
Coach, the team shot a much better percentage in the second half. What did you see in terms of a difference in the second half that led way to the comeback late?
Well, Peyton got hot a little bit. So did Patrick. That was good to see. Coming out of the gate, like I said, I don't know that we ran our offense as crisply as I would have liked, but we weren't getting bad shots. I mean, we weren't getting seconds, which is hard to do against them. But, what we missed? We missed 38 shots and got 8 of them back. You got, when you're struggling to score, you got to get a few more back. They missed 27 shots, got 13 of them back. Now, granted, they're the number 1 offensive rebounding team in the country, and Zade's a handful, but you got to fly around a little bit more, especially if you're missing 9 threes. The ball's going to be bouncing. You got to get a couple back.
Take a couple more. First, Mike.
Fran, it's an interesting box score. I mean, you have 11 steals and just 8 turnovers, 22 assists. The rebounds are so far apart. What do you take from this, and what are the good things and what obviously are not?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned, a couple of them. Every opportunity is a chance to get better. You're playing a really good team on the road that, typically doesn't beat themselves, and so I thought we fought, got down 22, we cut it, we had a chance to cut it to 5. So I'm proud of the guys for that, but as I said, our ability to stay connected defensively against a team that's really hard to guard. So, you know, being respectful of that, I thought we could have and should have been better with our rotations. So maybe, you know, instead of going 10 for 27, you know, maybe they go 7 for 27. You know, maybe you may miss a couple more and it changes the game, but they give them credit because they made them.
Last question on the right.
Fran, you've been around this league for a long time. The parity after Purdue is crazy. Where do you see this league at right now at this point?
Well, I think you're right. I mean, you've been around too. It's, you know, I think we always say it's the best league top to bottom, but I don't think it's ever been this difficult top to bottom. I mean, every game is just really hard. Every team has a really good coach. Every team has really good players. Seemingly every team's got some veteran guys. You know, so you have to play really well to win, especially on the road. It puts a lot more pressure on those teams that are playing at home. They feel like you got to win. But I don't know if there's another league where, if you look at the number of games that come down to 2 possessions, like our league.
Thank you, Coach.